they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence. Spend our life searching for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence.
Anxious earth is rising. Anxious earth is rising. I'm so happy.
We spend our life searching for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence.
Oh, hey, Double Trouble. This is Double Trouble Channel. Welcome. My name is Ron. I live in New Hampshire, and I stream science and animals and movies occasionally. It's been a long time since I've done a movie, but movies and science and what else? I do experiments on stream sometimes. And today we're doing an IRL, but it's not a real IRL because we don't have cell service where I live, so it's got to be. We kind of have it. But it's spotty. It's not. I can't do streams really. I did one the other day, but anyway. So it's a hike. It's a hike I did yesterday. Yesterday. They had a hike up on a property here in town, and it's pretty cool. So I thought I would share that. And so what I did, I take videos with my little camera here. I got my GoPro, so I take videos with it and then show it on stream, and I call that IRL. It's close enough, I guess. And then after that, if I still have enough energy, I'm going to try to fix this. I got a fan blade that broke again off of my fan here. Can you see that? Yeah. I bumped into it again and broke it. This time it was just my clothes that. My clothing caught into it and it broke off a blade. So it didn't damage me, but it damaged the fan. So maybe we'll try to fix that. I think I can do that. We'll see if we can. The other one was successful, and it still spins. It still works. Okay, but when the sun really comes out full, and it spins really fast, then it vibrates quite a bit. So I got to fix that. But we'll do the IRL thing first. I'll play those videos. And I think I have an older IRL that I didn't play yet. I'm not sure. We'll see. I think I may have some other videos that I've done. I have to find them. And what else? Yeah, we got commercial interruptions. So if you're watching this on the VOD, this is a live broadcast. Today is June 22nd, 2025. And it's a live broadcast, and it's just a recording of a live broadcast. So I guess we're an ad right now. It says maybe, or maybe we just did an ad. Yeah, we're doing an ad. All right, so we'll let the ad run just in case somebody is watching somewhere. I don't think anybody is. But live, if you're watching this in the recording, you're not going to see these ads, right? These are ads that are playing on the live Twitch channel, the website, the Twitch website. So if you're watching on the VOD, then you wouldn't see these ads, or they won't interrupt what we're doing here. If you're on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever, you might see ads on YouTube or whatever. But they you know how it works, right? They stop the video and then they play the ad and it picks up where it left off. But when I'm doing it live, of course, you can't do that. So it will just wipe out one part of the content, which just kind of sucks. But that's how time works, I guess. You can't stop. You can't, unless you're at the edge of a black hole. That's how it's going to work. All right, so the first thing we'll do. So that's the first ad. Let me set a timer. Maybe I can. Well, no, I'll see it pop up here. I think. Let me make this. I've got I did something a little bit different this time to try to deal with the ads. Normally I do my normal thing here, and then I got another computer that I watch the stream on. The laptop that I watch the stream on. That way I can know for sure what's going out, because OBS, you never know what's happening. So that's what I'm doing. I'm watching on another one, but normally I'm logged in, and when you're, I don't see my own. If you're logged in, I'm a subscriber to my own channel, right? Twitch is nice enough that all the streamers get a free subscription to their own channel. So I don't see the ads. So this time I logged out. So I'm watching my thing not being logged in. You know what I'm saying? I have another computer that's watching my stream that's not logged in. So it sees the ads. So at least I'll be able to know that the ads are going out there. You know what I'm saying? So I got at least that much. I won't get a warning that they're coming, but when they do come, I'll see them, and then I'll know to stop. And pick up after the ad. So I hope that makes sense. That's a little too much meta, maybe. I guess I should check the. Do we have audio? I didn't check that, did I? Yeah, we got audio. Let me check my sync real quick. This is a ritual I go through at the beginning of the stream all the time. So. That was pretty close. I think the sound might be a little delayed. Yeah, I think the sound's a little bit delayed, so I'm going to adjust that just a little bit. About 5 milliseconds. Let me see if that fixes it. All right. And wait. That's a little bit closer. I don't know. I guess that's better. The reason why I have to do that is because, and for those of you who are new streamers and don't understand, and maybe if you're streaming and your audio gets out of sync, there are a couple reasons why that could happen. One is there could be a setting in where you go to the advanced audio properties on OBS. And they allow you to, put latency in the audio, either forward or backward. So maybe if you're a new person, you got that in there. And the reason why they do that is because on slower computers, the video can't keep up with the audio. So you got to delay the audio a little bit so that they hit at the same time, right? They get sent out at the same time. But if you're using your computer and maybe you do something else on your computer that takes up a lot of CPU time, then that'll slow down your video, maybe, and then it'll get out of sync. So that's what happens, and that's how you adjust it. Is you go to go to your audio mixer and click the little gears on your auto mixer and adjust the advanced properties, and you can adjust that latency, that delay there, and get it in sync. And I do that every time because my computer is so old and so slow that any little thing I do affects that how much it's going to be lagging. So I do it at the beginning of each stream just to make sure I got it right. All right. So what there was an organized hike. There's a guy who lives in town who is Tommy Thomson, who is the son of the former governor of New Hampshire. And he has a huge, I don't know, a couple thousand acres or something. I don't know how much he has, but he has a whole bunch of land. And he opens it up. I mean, it's open year round. I guess I'm pretty sure it's common current use. There's a thing in New Hampshire called current use. So people who have large lots of land can do what they call put the land in what they call current use, which means if it's not developed, then if they put it in current use, they can open it up for people to walk, and hike through their land and stuff like that. And as an incentive for doing that, they get a tax decrease, on their taxes. And so a lot of people do that. A lot of landowners do that. They put their land in current use and get a tax break, big tax break, really. But then anybody can go into their land, and walk around and recreate, on their land. So that's kind of cool. So that opens up a lot of land, around that people can hike on and do stuff with. But once a year they kind of do a special thing. They make sure they groom the roads really good and put up signs and do the whole thing. And they call it the Lupine tour because it's the predominant flower on their property is lupine, and just has these beautiful views. So I'll show some of those here. In fact, let me let's see if I can find those, and I guess we can just get into it. Is there any other set of, we can look at what lupine is. Let's do that. Okay, go down here, click that, click this, click that. There we go. Okay. So lupine, that's what they're called. Lupine or lupine. Well, they got a note here. What does the note say? Oh shit. What do I do here? Both pronounced. Let's see how they say. Lu, okay, like goose. P. It as in kit, and lupine. So they're right. Either way, even if you put an E on the end, it's not lupine, it's lupine. It's kind of interesting. Okay. But this plant, it's a beautiful plant, and they just got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different. Look at all these different species of this particular. What is it? A genus? I guess I don't know. Lupus is a type, species, genus. Yeah, genus Lupus, Lupinus. Look at all these different species they have of this thing. It's incredible. And I don't know which one it was. It looked kind of like this. I don't know. Well, I'll show you. Of course, we'll have pictures of it. And this this butterfly here. This butterfly was flying around out there. I think this was the one that was flying around out there. I got a picture of that too. I'll show you. So that's kind of interesting. On Wikipedia, they got that same butterfly here. All right. So let's see if I can find those videos. And let's see, it's kind of complicated because what I want to do, I have a whole bunch of, instead of just turning it on and letting it run for the whole hike. It was a long hike. For me it was. I mean, I haven't hiked in a long time. It was like a 4-hour thing or something, you know. And we covered over 4 miles of territory, you know, hiking around. So that was a lot for me. I hadn't hiked that much in a long time, so I was sore and everything, you know. Just a little 4-mile hike, and it tore me up, you know. Plus the sun, you know, the sun was out all day, and I'm not, you know, used to having that much sun either. So it really wore me out. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my VLC player. And let me see if this will, let me see here. Open multiple files, file, add. Yeah, I don't know if this will show up or not. Let me see if this will show up here. Window. No, I'm going to do this first. I'm going to do this. Then do this, then do this, then do that. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I've got this is my VLC player. And okay, it's not showing what I come up here. Can you see that where it says media up at the top here? Yeah, you can see that barely, right? I click on that. All right, it's not gonna show the drop down windows or anything when I do this, but what I'm doing is I'm clicking multiple files and then I'm adding multiple files. And I got to make sure I get them in the right order here too. So I got to sort it backwards and do all this kind of stuff here. But what you do is you just select, you know, you shift select and select all the files, and then say open, and it puts them in this little queue, your playlist. And then you can play them. So let me see if that worked. That worked, okay. So this is the first one, which looks like it was actually a JPEG. So that was a JPEG. I don't know what that was about. Oh, I know what this is the one. Okay, yeah, there was. So I've got about a dozen or so of these videos, right, that I'm playing through VLC. And I'll just narrate and just explain what's going on. So, and so we're gonna do the IRL here. This is what I'm calling IRL. It's the closest I can get to IRL usually here in town. But these are videos that we did, and so that was that. This one is a JPEG. I think they do like 10 seconds for each JPEG. I've got several JPEGs in there, but most of them are videos. Okay, so this is the first one. Let me see if we got. I don't know if I want. Okay, yeah, and it was a group, right? We had a group. There's a group here that does organizes hikes periodically, and this is one that they did, and so I just showed up and went and hiked with the group. But these are the lupines here. Look at how tall those things are, and it doesn't. The pictures don't do them justice. You know, it's when you see it in person, the colors are just so vibrant. It's just really impressive. This thing. There's a close-up of one right there. Okay, this is Small Falls. So they have a couple waterfalls here, and they put signs up this time too. I did this hike about a decade ago or so, something like that, and I don't remember that they had the signs up there last time. So you know, they're making it a whole other big deal. He's been doing it for a long time. You know, once a year opening up his property for this when the lupins bloom. So this is Small Falls plus lens flare. Okay, and there's Small Falls. That's pretty. I should take this and make a loop of these things, these waterfalls, for something. I don't know, you know. Yeah. What was I just gonna say something? Yeah, these are small. This is a small waterfall, and there's a big waterfall. And they just have all kinds of. They got ponds and you know, streams and stuff running through the property all over the place. So more lens flare. You know, this little thing I have here just to let you. Let's see here. This little GoPro camera I have. This is what I was shooting it with. This little GoPro camera, and there's no viewfinder on it or anything. I'm just blind. I just point the camera and hope that I'm getting something. You know, so it's pretty primitive. You know, in terms of technology there. But I can adjust the you know, the resolution, and I can and the field of view. These first few ones I did at medium view, so they were a little bit more shaky, and then I changed it finally and made it wide view, which makes it a little less shaky when I'm walking around. I don't have a gimbal or anything, so sorry about that. All right, let's play this here. This is Big Falls then. Big Falls Lamprey Sawmill. I don't know what that means or what that's about. But well, there must have been a sawmill set up here. Yeah, back throughout the 18th, 19th centuries, they used water wheels, you know, big water wheels to power mills around here. Either sawmills or grist, or flour mills or something like that. And this is, look at that, that's just, they're just all over this is just walking down the road here. As I say, the video just does not do it justice. It's just the most impressive thing when you see it in person. Okay, we got an ad coming up, I think. Oh no, wait, maybe that's a small patch. I don't know if people watching it come out right now. And like it'll be nothing, and then like once it gets hot. Play this one. Okay, yeah, it happens. Hey, there's a close-up of one. Crazy. We have a little small patch. You kind of see how vibrant that color is a little bit here. It's just incredible. All these flowers all over. So we came to this one huge, this kind of a scenic area. Right, looking out this way. I think that's Mount Cube, maybe out there. But this is like a huge field here, and directly behind me, you're facing this way. Directly behind you, there's a little cabin that is up on a hill and has this beautiful view. And we actually walked in. I think this was the one we walked into. Actually went through the field. Let's see if we got that here. Yeah. Oops. Okay. So what did I do here? right, I thought I had shut it off. This is, oh yeah, shit, we got an ad, sorry. Yeah, if you're subscribed, you're not seeing the ad, but thank you for waiting for the ad. Okay, you didn't miss anything. I stopped it when the ad came on. So I think this is going to work. I don't have any warnings that the ads are coming, but when they do come, I'll stop everything and we'll back it up a little bit so you don't miss anything. Okay. All right. Let's see. Do I need to? No, I don't need to do that. All right. Let's start this video back up again. So anyway, this is, you know how you got to start and stop on your video, and I got them mixed up. So there was a whole video here that didn't get videoed because I thought it was on when it was off, and then I hit it to shut it off, and it actually turned it on. So here I am, you know, just walking around with this thing. So okay, we can skip over that. Let's see. So yeah, we did hike down into this one here. This is a bog down here. This is kind of steep, actually, walking down in there. But this is all mushy down here. And so I walked in as far as I could. I didn't want to get into the really mushy part. I didn't want my boots to get wet, you know, my socks to get wet. So but we did hike down in there. And of course, there are ticks all over the place, you know. I'd take my take my pants and tuck them into my socks, you know, put the socks on the outside of my pants so the ticks couldn't crawl up inside my pants, at least, you know. And someone went way out into the mushy part, way out into the bog there to look around. So what's this here? What are we doing? Okay, oh, this is, so I got pretty far down in there. This is about halfway down, I guess. I don't know. Just look at all these plants and stuff. Yeah, there you can see my socks are tucked or on the outside of my pants. Let's see if we can see that here. Just walking through, and this is all. There it is. See how I have my socks on the outside of my pants, so I can get through there, and all the ticks. You know, I could find the ticks. Hopefully, yeah. You know. I still had some when I got home. You know, but you know, you find them. You take them out.
Yeah, there you are. I'm in the dancing scene there, but then I'm in the.
And there were some bicyclists that just were riding through, you know. But see how they got you know, tape, you know, to show you so you don't get lost and everything. It'd be very easy to get lost on this property because they got trails all over the place, and it's mostly you know, lumber trails, you know, for logging trails, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, this is, I don't know what this is. This is a walk. Oh, I know, this is a walk to a scenic spot, so. this is. I think it might be a lake or something, or a pond. Yeah, no gimbal, sorry. But I put it on a wide, wide angle, so it's, at least it's not real, super shaky. Oh yeah, look at that! Wow, that looks bigger than a pond. I think that's a lake. I don't know what the cutoff is, but I think that might be a lake.
It looks like there's trail, like this shows a little bit of trail. That's okay.
So, yeah, now this is another lake. Now this is a pond or lake or something, but this is a different one. Way out here. Is my pointer working? Yeah, way out here is it was a tree that was in the middle of this pond. An old dead tree that got flooded out in the middle of this pond, and there were 3 blue heron nests on this thing. So that was kind of cool. You couldn't see them with your naked eye. You had to have a binoculars or something to see them. And I think I tried taking a picture of that, but it's still, that little GoPro just couldn't do, reach that far. Yeah, and I'll stop when the commercials run. I won't be able to warn you that the commercials are coming, but when they start, I'll stop this so you won't miss anything, guys. Look at all those. Somebody made a comment. They said, "Oh, it looks like Sound of Music." Remember that scene in Sound of Music? Yeah, that's it. Okay, this is a still. I guess I could do a couple stills here. Very sunny all day. Yeah, there were hardly any clouds, so it was got a lot of sun. And I don't wear sunscreen or anything either, so that's I was fried by the end of the day. And as I said, these pictures just don't do it justice at all. Yep, I think we might have an ad coming, so I'll let you know. If the ads come, you won't miss anything. I'll stop it and replay it, so you're not going to miss anything if the ad comes. Here's this still of this one. I'm going to try to zoom in on this. Can I do that? Let's see. Is there a way to zoom in on this thing? Let me see if I can zoom in on this still here. There we go. Okay. Alright, so. Okay, I don't know how. Shit. It has a fixed zoom here. I don't know how to. My controls for controlling. There it is. Okay, I already got it. Alright. There it is. Alright. There we go. Okay. So you can almost see them. Yeah, you can, but you can't see the birdies, right? They're blue heron. There's a nest here and here and here on this tree, and you can see the blue herons, on top of their feeding their little babies and stuff through binoculars, anyway. So that's kind of cool. And I'll stop when the commercials come. I will stop this. I won't be able to warn you that the commercials are coming, but I'll stop it and you won't miss anything. Yeah, that's Mount Cube. Used to be called Mount Cuba before before Castro, before the revolution. They called it Mount Cuba. And then when Castro took over, they changed the name to Mount Cube. And we had a geologist in the group who was explaining how all the geology of this whole thing. Apparently, this mountain used to be an actual, mountain with a peak there, maybe a volcanic mountain. I don't know what kind of mountain it was, but it had it was much higher. It was like up like this. And then during the Ice Age, when the glaciers, this whole area was covered with glaciers, and the glaciers came down from the south. South is on the left here, and north is on the right, I guess. Oh no, I'm sorry. Wait, it's south is on the right, and north is on the left. Yeah. So when the glaciers came down, they chopped off, just sheared off the top of this mountain. And when the geologists look at it, they can see that on the south side of this mountain here is similar rock. So they can tell that this got chopped off and the rocks got deposited over here. They have a whole bunch of these giant rocks that are just scattered all over the place that they call, what do they call them? Irregulars or something like that. I forget what name they have for them. But they're just giant rocks that are just scattered all over the place that were carried in by the ice during the Ice Age. That are just all over the place here. So yeah, these views are just stunning. Okay, and this is walking back, I guess. Yeah, all kinds of sound. The animal sounds too are just really something else. Oh, this is a butterfly that I saw here. It's a swallowtail butterfly. Let me see if I can zoom in on that guy so we can see what he looks like here. Yeah, it's a swallowtail. Yeah, it's kind of low resolution, but yeah, you see the different colors there and stuff. So that's the same butterfly that was on the Wikipedia page, just sucking on the lupins. So, yeah, just all kind of just this whole around where I live here. Though there's another. That's a species of bee maybe or something behind him there. Okay, so I think we're starting over here. So all right. So that's it. That was kind of a short IRL there. I didn't like just do a regular IRL where I just kept it running all the time, but I just took short little pictures of it. I didn't know how much battery I had in my thing, and all that. So that was a fun little hike going through there, and the pollinators that we have around here. There's so many of them, so many different varieties, just different varieties of bee. I found a new, as I was on that hike, I saw a new species of bee that I had not seen before. It was a bumblebee, but it was a little bit shorter and smaller, than the ones that I've seen before. So it's just a lot of wildlife around here. We were talking about, when I asked one of the guys, I said, "Oh, you can't drink the water, right?" I think I know you can't drink the water. And he says, "No." He says, "Especially right now because it's the tests. They do tests on the water, and the tests show high E. coli right now. And the reason that is because we've had a bunch of rain, and when there's a bunch of rain, then all the water from the watershed flows down a lot, and it carries all the animal poop with it into the stream, and then you get high E. coli counts, But then if it goes for a while without water or without rain, then there's less E. coli. But you shouldn't drink it anyway without filtering it, or something, or sterilizing it somehow or whatever. But I had some other Let me see. I think I have some other stuff that I hadn't shown yet. Yeah, there was one I was looking at here. Yeah, there was a little chipmunk that I fed by hand. I don't know if I showed this or not. This was, I don't know, a couple weeks ago maybe. What's the date on that thing? I didn't show the date. But this is a, you know, I go out and feed the animals every day. And I went out there maybe a week ago, a month ago, whatever. I don't know. I can't keep track anymore. But there was a little chipmunk out there when I was out there. And I was feeling patient enough, and I got him to take that peanut out of my hand. See, there he is running around. Let's see, he ran over there. I was trying to follow him with the camera, which was kind of stupid. They're really fast. And this one that I think it was a new one that was just born, you know. It's still trying to figure everything out, you know. But they are pretty tame. I've done this before. There we go. There he goes. We'll zoom in on him. Get a good shot of him here. Oops, oh, that's not what I want. There we go. Yeah, I think that's a baby. I think that one was just born this spring. So. Oh, ad. Alright. So if you're not subscribed, we got an ad. But you won't miss anything. Trust me. Alright. Yeah, we got an ad, so so that's cool. I think I showed this one already. I may have showed this one already, but I just want to show you these little these baby crows here. Everybody saw the chipmunk. I think we got the chipmunk out there before the ads came. So now I went to another part of the video. Yeah, these are all the baby crows. But if you look at them, see how that you can tell they're baby crows by two different ways. One is the you know, their little down feathers are still kind of sticking out a little bit. You can see little white stuff parts, you know, where their down feathers are still coming out. And then at the edge of their beaks here, this is kind of still, it's kind of a pink fleshy part of their beak, and that's like that for only about a week or so after they fledge. But after that, then they pretty much look like an adult. the way that you tell the younger birds, the baby ones that have just fledged from the adults is by the way they act, because they act so goofy. Everything is new to them. Oh, here we go. See that? So he's looking at, what is that thing? What is that? It's like he's learning everything new. What is that thing? And then they chase the chipmunks around. Because they don't know any better. They think they can catch the chipmunk. Oh, there's a chipmunk again. There he goes. He went after the chipmunk. Here, let me take the zoom off here. Oh, that was a red squirrel. That's red. That's my only red squirrel. He went chasing after it. And you hear that little high-pitched squeaky call. That's the crows. They make that call for a while, a couple weeks or so after they fledge, and then their voice develops. So there are 5 of these are babies. So these 3 were babies, and then these 2 are babies, I think. And these out here on the edge here must be the adults then, I guess. Because I had two pair that were hanging around here, two couples, breeding couples of pairs of crows, and one pair had 3 and the other one had 2. So we got 5 babies and 4 adults. And they're territorial, of any. When other crows come in, they usually scare them away or whatever. Except during breeding season, I don't remember if I showed this or not. I may have showed this already. If I did, I'm sorry. I didn't. And there he's trying to figure out how to hold it and pick at it and all that stuff. That's funny. He's not coordinated enough yet because he's too young. He hadn't figured it out yet. That's funny. There's a chipmunk again. Let's see. Oh, there he goes. He's chasing after the chipmunk. I think that's a baby squirrel too. That might be a baby squirrel, young squirrel. Yeah, when they come out, they look almost like adults. They're almost the same size. Oh, that's a good close-up of that one. Let me show you that here. Yeah, you can see that that fleshy part of his beak there. See that? Get a good picture of that there. Yeah, you see that? Where he's got that little fleshy part. The adults don't have that. It's black all the way. It's just that turns into, I guess, part of their beak or something. It just turns all black there. Huh. Let's see what we got here. Anybody else here that's has any? All right. This was about a month ago, actually, I think. This was 12th, June 12th. That's not a month ago, is it? That's a week ago. Right. So maybe I didn't show this one. He's trying, and then the chipmunk doesn't even know that he's supposed to run from him. Did you see that? It's a baby chipmunk and baby crows. So the chipmunk doesn't know that he's supposed to run away from the crows, and the crows don't know that that the chipmunk is too fast to run. So it's just funny watching them all. And the squirrels and the crows are about equally, neither one dominates the other. You know what I'm saying? It's like these baby crows are not. They're not. They're just figuring it all out. They don't know what's going on at all. But the adult crows will, when the squirrels come to take the peanuts, the adult crows will swoop down on them and pretend like they're hawks, going at the squirrels to try to bluff them or get them, to run away and drop the nuts. And then the squirrels will do the same thing. The squirrels will charge after the crows, and if the crows aren't paying attention, and see them out of the side of their eye, they might think that it's a fox coming after them, so they fly away. It's funny. So they just. And the crows are really smart. They'll do things like when I put the seed out there. Sometimes they will fly to another area and pretend that there are nuts over in another area to try to draw the squirrels over. But the squirrels just go by smell, But the crows don't know that. They think that they're trying to fake out the squirrels. Oh, there's a red squirrel over here. Those were gray squirrels. The big ones were gray squirrels. That's a red squirrel over here. And he's the only one around, so I gave him a name. I call him Red. He's the only red squirrel around here. I don't know if you guys can tell from if you watch birds all the time, you can just tell that these birds are just acting really, like they don't know what's going on at all compared to an adult. It's just the way they're acting, and they're just exploring, and trying out new things, and they lose their balance a lot, when they're walking around because they haven't figured that out yet. It's funny. Whoa. Chipmunk again. Look at them they're trying to chase the chipmunk. That's funny. The chipmunk doesn't even care, But somehow the chipmunks know about hawks. If the hawk is around, they stay underground. They don't come out. Usually, some of them get caught. There's a red squirrel right here in the middle. And that's a gray squirrel. Did you hear that? Hear those wings? Wow. Whoa. I'm gonna scrub through this a little bit because it's just if anything else happened here. Oh, there it is. There's a red squirrel. Good shot of him or her. I don't know. Chipmunk again. Oh, that's back to me again. Okay, so that's... Alright, so that's... I may have showed that one before, I don't remember, but I just wanted to show that, so... I got more IRL here, but I don't remember where it all is. I have one of a spider here. Let's see if I can find that one. Yeah, here we go. Here. Here's a little spider. A jumping spider, you know? Let's see here. I'm gonna try to... I think I have a better shot of that one, so I'm going to try again here. No, that's not it. There we go. Alright, I've got a better shot here of that spider. You see that? Yeah, you can see that. Okay. I've got these, several of these around the house. They like to hang out at the windows for some reason. Yeah, my GoPro doesn't focus very good when it's close. But I got several of these. They stay inside, on the inside of the windows. And what's funny is they will, if a bug lands on the outside, you know, they'll chase it. They'll chase. It's so funny to watch them do that. You know, a bug will land on the outside of the glass. They're on the inside of the glass. But they try to chase the bug down anyway, you know. It's it's almost like a cat, you know. You ever see cats try to chase things on the other side of a window? That's what they do. It's funny. I can't get it very good. There we go. That's a pretty good shot. I don't know. Anyway, so. Yeah, this jumping spider. I got one right over here on this window here. If he ever comes out when I'm streaming, I'll try to grab my webcam and do an actual live shot of him. Okay, we got an ad starting here pretty quick, but you won't miss anything. So I'll stop the stream or whatever when it comes on. Yeah, when that guy when I'm streaming, I'll try to. If he ever comes out when I'm streaming, I'll try to get a live picture of him. So I think that would be kind of cool to do that. Do a live shot of a jumping spider. Did the ad start yet? The ad's starting soon, so I don't know. My stream is actually delayed a little bit. My monitoring stream here that I'm doing, so my computer that is monitoring it. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. So I don't know if the ads have started yet or not. I don't see them yet there. It says ad starting soon, it says. I don't know. I don't want anybody to miss anything, so okay, it says that the ad is in progress now, so all right. There we go. All right. So if you're Sydney, if you're watching, you know, I get it. I don't know, but I have one subscriber, so if Sydney is watching you, he's not seeing the ad, but everybody else is seeing. And of course, if you're watching on the VOD, right? If you're watching on the VOD, you're not seeing these commercials, right? You're seeing other commercials that whatever platform you're watching it on are sticking in there. All right, so we're back. So that was my jumping spider. Yeah, jumping spiders are so cool. They're so smart. They have these tiny, tiny little brains, and they only have like 30,000 neurons in their brain. But somehow they're able to hunt. You know, I mean, you know, recognize their prey, hunt them, catch them. When they jump, they can plan where exactly where they want to jump. They can plan routes that they're going to take to get somewhere, you know, around object, and all this complicated stuff they can do with these tiny, tiny little brains that only have 30,000 neurons. So they're scientists are really studying them, you know, to try to figure it out. They're actually doing some really cruel experiments on them. I've seen some really cruel stuff that they do. Scientists can be evil sometimes, you know, when they some of these experiments they do. I wish they would try to be more considerate, you know. We don't know. Even though the spider's that big, he might have consciousness and awareness and pain and suffering and everything else, you know. So they probably shouldn't do that. All right, I guess I'll do my fix this fan here. This is the second half of the thing. I need to change my. What do I need? I need to change my my category here. I got to figure out how to do that here. Let's see. I think I can do that from here. Is that how I can do this? Yeah. All right. I got to change my category on my stream. What is this? Crafting. This is crafting. I don't know. I'm just gonna put just chatting. Too hard to figure out. Just chatting. Okay. So now we're gonna be just chatting. Let's see if that works. Did that change here? Yeah, the title still says IRL, but yeah, just chatting. Okay. All right. So now let me see if I can work on this fan now. So this fan got broke. I explained this at the beginning of the stream. See one of these this blade here broke off of this fan, and I was doing something over there and clipped my clothing on it, and it broke off. So what I want to do is try to fix it. Fortunately, it didn't break me like the last time. The last time I broke my fan, it was my finger got stuck in there, and it went like this, you know, and did the fan blade under the fingernail thing, you know, and it really messed me up there for a couple of days. And this is still hooked up to the solar, so it, even though it was broken, and if the sun is not too bright and it's going, it actually still blows air and everything. It works just fine. But with the sun comes out and it gets full power, and it gets going really fast, then it's too unbalanced with this blade off of it, and it makes this big loud humming noise, and I'm sure it's not good for it. It's not good for the bearings and everything else. So what I'm going to do is I'll take the webcam and point it down here, and I've got this super duper glue here. This isn't sponsored, by the way. This isn't sponsored. I'm using JB Weld, but this is a epoxy. So you've got a resin and a hardener, and you mix them together, and it makes a really, really, really strong bond. You know, so that's what I'm going to use. All right, so let me. I'm going to grab a pair of pliers because I think I need that to do this. Just want to get that right quick. Be right back. think this is all I'm going to need here. Get my water out of the way. If I can take a drink of water, hydrate, right? Then I'll point this down at this thing. You see that? I guess I'll have to adjust the focus, huh? Alright, I'm going to adjust the focus now. If I can find it, there we go. Okay, so it's got to be a little closer focus. No, wrong way, Ron. There we go. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. It's getting out there. All right. I'm not sure that. I guess that's pretty close in focus, I guess. All right. So what I'll do is set my mouse somewhere. So I'll take some of this JB Weld stuff there. And I'll put a little bit of the, oh, I need to get one more thing. I need to get a stick or something to, oh, here's a stick over here. Alright, so I got my stick. Okay, so we're all set here. So I'll take this, some of the resin. Some of this resin leaked out, so I've got more, you know, I've got more hardener than resin here for some, you know, because it leaked. But that's okay, I guess. So I'll mix it, and it sets pretty fast. It says it sets in 5 minutes. So I'll mix them, and I'll put some on the parts here, and then I'll take this blade here and try to make it stick it in there, and hopefully that'll work. And I don't know how long I'll have to hold it there. Maybe I need to put some tape on there. Maybe I could just move that piece of tape over here. That might work. Alright, so I think we got a plan here. So, right, switch my glasses. So I got my close-up glasses on. Alright. And it's nice and warm, so I don't have to worry. In the winter, when we use this stuff, it's really challenging because it's so hard. It has such a high viscosity that it's hard to even get out of the bottle. Okay, I don't need that much for that, do I? Anyway, so. Can you see that? Can you see what I'm doing there? Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's a little bright, but basically I'm just putting in equal amounts of the hardener and the resin, roughly equal. It doesn't have to be that exact, you know. I don't think. And then mix it up. Let's see it. Kind of hard to see, isn't it? Maybe you see that a little bit there. I don't know. I think what I'll do is take this. I had this piece of tape on here that I was using to measure the RPMs on it. You know, a little, so you can, you know, my RPM. It was, you know, it's an optical sensor on an on a meter that could measure RPM. So I had this little piece of tape on there so it would reflect better. But what I'll do is I'll put that little piece of tape on this. And then use that to hold it in place. So that should work, I think. Alright, so let me put some of this on here. If anybody has any questions, you can ask them. I got AMA today. You ask me anything. And I actually don't want to put too much on there, right? Because it would, then that would add too much weight, right? So I wonder if I should put some on that one actually. Maybe I should. Put a little bit on this one too. I don't know if you're supposed to put it on both surfaces or not. I mean, it gets on both surfaces anyway, right? If you put it on one, you just put it on one. As soon as you touch it, then it's on both anyway, right? So I don't know. Sometimes you read the directions, it tells you to put it on both surfaces, but you know, if you got it on one, you got it on the other. And I'm supposed to be wearing gloves here, but you know how that goes. I do have a fan going, so this is a well ventilated area. When you use this stuff, you got to make sure it's really well ventilated. And I do have a fan in the window and stuff that's blowing air through here, so it should be okay in that. Yeah, I guess that's. You see that? Yeah, you can see that. It's not that easy to do. There we go. So that's about where it should be, I think. That. Okay, or not. I don't really want to take this fan out of here, you know. That looks pretty good actually. It looks like it's about where it should be. Maybe a little bit higher here. Shit. Alright. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to work on that. God damn, man. I think just hold it in place until it's kind of hard to do though. No. I don't think I have enough stuff on there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have enough light here either. I should have more light. Which is ironic because I turn on a whole bunch of lights in order to do the stream. I usually keep the house pretty dark, you know, at night. But I turn on a whole bunch of lights in order to do the stream so that the camera works better. I should just forget this tape altogether. It's been 5 minutes, hasn't it? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a piece of tape to keep the fan from spinning around. I remember I did that last time. Well, I wasn't paying attention to see if we had ads coming or not. I don't know if we've got ads. Yeah, let me. I got to bring up my ad manager here again. Yeah, there's an ad starting here pretty quick, so I'll. But I don't think I can wait. I think my epoxy will set, so you might miss some of this compelling content here during the ad. So I'm just going to tape this like that, so keep that from spinning around while I'm working with it. Maybe I should use the tweezers for this too. Let me do that. Well, I guess they're not running the ad. They said they were going to run an ad. I don't know. An ad might start here in a few seconds, so sorry. I gotta glue this. I don't think I can wait, you know. Sorry, so. But basically, I'm just gonna try to get this thing glued in here. It's okay. It still hasn't set, so that's good. There we go. Okay. What's that damn food ad too? Okay, so you didn't miss much during that ad. Still not, it's not right still. So I don't know. Should be a little bit more, but I don't know. I think as long as it doesn't hit the side, it should be okay. So I guess I'll just leave that. That looks pretty good, I guess. Alright, Yeah, those were pretty obnoxious ads too. We had a food ad there. That sucks. I don't like it. I wish people could opt out of food ads because they are actually harmful. Food ads are actually harmful to you to watch food ads all the time. You know, it harms people when they do that. You know, they have that like that Taco Bell ad, you know. They're showing the food, all the juicy food, and they ring the bell like a Pavlovian thing, you know, and it's like, you know, it's a eating cue. And for people who have difficulty, or anybody really, it'll make you, watching those ads make you fat. You know, it's just, I don't know why they even, you know, they should at least give us an option of opting out of those things, you know. But it is what it is, I guess. So yeah, when they play those ads, it's a cue for people to eat, you know. If you're sitting around, you know, if you're at home or whatever, and you know, you see an ad and you see people eating, it's like yawning, you know, where it's like contagious, you know. If you see somebody yawn, you know, so and they yawn, then it makes other people yawn, you know. And food is the same way. Food is like a, you know, it's an instinctual thing, eating food. So when they show people eating food, even, you know, if you weren't thinking about it, even if you're not hungry or anything, it makes you unconsciously want to eat food, you know. And especially if you don't know that, and especially for people who don't know that and don't understand how that works, they'll just go and eat food, you know, so they play these ads all day, and then and people end up eating food more than they should, you know what I mean? They snack or graze or whatever. I'm sorry, I gotta do this. This thing came undone here again. Let me get this again here. You see that? Yeah. So they see those ads, and and it makes them want to eat more than they should. You know, when they're not thinking about it and stuff, they will try to eat anyway. You know, even if they're not hungry, you know. You know, it's just, and you know, the food companies, they have an incentive to do that, because then they, you know, if people eat more, they eat more of their food, right? You know, they sell more stuff. And they also have an incentive to, I don't think that'll work. I'm going to try to set that away here somewhere where it's not going to get bumped. Where can I set that here? I'm going to set this over here on the table. So, all right. All right. So, yeah. So they play those ads, you know, and and the food companies have an incentive because they, you know, if people eat more, they eat more of their stuff, and then the health industry has an interest in that too. They want to make people fatter, so they're sicker, and so they need more medical stuff. You know, it's really perverse. You know, the way that system is set up. So I wish they would have some way to opt out of those food ads. You know, some you know, something you could do to say, you know, streamers or viewers or whoever, to say, I don't want these ads to play on my stream. I don't want this, you know, I don't want to watch these ads. You know, I guess it helps a little bit, but if you're conscious of it, you know, if you're aware of what they're doing, you know, and you're aware that that's an eating cue. If you're really conscious about it, and you see the ad, and then you get up and you just walk to the refrigerator, and if you're conscious and enough of it, then you can say, oh, wait a second, I don't want to do this, I don't, and you can stop it. But even then, it's a instinct or whatever to eat and stuff like that. So it's really hard to counteract that. So it's really bad. I wish they would do something about that. But again, nobody has any incentive to do that. If they set that up, then these drug companies, they got drugs now for this. What is it, Ozempic or whatever the hell? These drugs that make it so you don't eat as much, So they advertise. They have the food. They got the food advertisers who advertise the food that make you eat more and it makes you fat. Then you go to your doctor and your doctor says, "Oh, here, take these pills, these drugs," And then the money they make from the drugs, then they buy advertising on the platforms. The drug companies do, on TV and on the various media. And so the media is not incentivized at all to fix it, right? So it's pretty screwed up. But I prefer to have the thing is I prefer to have advertising because from the standpoint of rather than subscription. I'm not doing this for money anyway. But I mean, like, if you're a streamer and you're trying to make money, it's better to have ads. In my opinion, it's better to get your revenue from the ads rather than subscriptions, because with subscriptions, half of that's going to a billionaire, right? And half of it's going to the streamer. But with ads, the money is going from some other big company, to another big company. Half of it goes to another, or a portion of it goes to another big company, and a portion of it goes to the streamer. Whereas with subscriptions, it's the money is flowing from poor people to rich people. You know what I'm saying? It's a subscription. It's poor people are paying money, and half of it's going to the billionaire, right? On ads, it's a rich person, and half of that money is going to the poor person, half of it goes to a rich person. So it's the flow of money in the ad model is flowing from, at least a portion of it is flowing from the wealthy people to poor people, the poor streamer or whatever. I assume most streamers are poor or are not billionaires or whatever. So anyway, that's so from that standpoint, the ads are better, but they're inconvenient. I kind of figured out now how to. I can just watch it from a computer that's not logged in, and then I can tell when the ad is playing, and I can actually see which ads are playing, which is kind of cool too. But I still don't have much of a warning. It says ad starting in 5.5 minutes. So, but it doesn't give a. It should have an audio warning or something, or screen should flash or something to indicate that the ad is coming up, and it doesn't do that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's better to do it with ads, though. Just in terms of with the money flow and all that stuff, In terms of content, I don't know. If you run ads, you don't get the pre-rolls, so that's good, I guess. I don't think you don't get pre-rolls, do you? When you come out, I don't think you do. When you come to the stream, I don't think you get pre-rolls if I'm running ads throughout the whole thing. I think it shuts off pre-rolls. Or maybe it shuts off pre-rolls after I run my first ad. I think maybe that's what it is. I forget. But anyway, I think on a whole, I think it's probably better to run the ads than to try to do it through subscriptions. And I'm not trying to make money anyway. So, but I mean, for streamers that are, trying to make money from streaming, it's probably better for them to do ads. And I don't know how much you get. I mean, they've got it set up. It's one of those things where they share the profit from the ads. So it's not the revenue from the ads that gets split between the streamer and the platform. It's the profit. So they get the money for the ad that the advertiser pays. Then they deduct all their expenses, their salaries of people who they, and all this. And that's where they can play the games, right? They can say, oh, our expenses are 90, 80, 95% or whatever. And here's 5% that was split with you, or something like that. So that's kind of sucky. But I don't know. I don't know how much you make. I haven't even looked since I got my affiliate. I haven't even looked at how money, how much money I'm making or any of that stuff. I don't have any viewers, so I assume I'm not making any money. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So we did that. I think that's it. There was something I did want to cover. There were a couple things. Let's see. Last time we talked about Juneteenth. Is that what we did? Yeah, Juneteenth. We did last time, and we were talking about when, the exact timing of when the slaves were emancipated. And anyway, I won't get into it too much, but there's a movie that I had thought of, and I forgot to mention it last time, called Alice, which is it was a movie by a new director. It's a screenwriter who did her first movie, and she just did a fantastic job. It just blew me away when I saw that movie. Let me see if I can find that here on Wikipedia. No, it's not gonna. Wait a second. Let me see. Alice. Let's see if I can bring this up here. Is that it? Okay, so that's a name, literature, video games, films. Here we go. And it's a recent one. There it is. They call it a crime drama. It's not a crime drama. When I watched it, it was they had it listed as a sci-fi. So this is this poster doesn't reflect what the movie's about at all. So of course they do that, right? They crime thriller set in the 19th. See, that's not what it is. That's not even what the thing is about. It's about well, I can't tell you what it's about without spoiling it. But anyway, you don't want to actually read too much about it before you see it. But it's just a good great film, and I did a review of it, or we did a watch party or something. I can't remember what it was. A few months ago. I didn't do a full, a really good review of it. I just watched it on stream and then talked about it. But it's a great film, and I recommend it to everybody, who is interested in this whole idea of emancipation and how that happened and stuff like that. Anyway, last time we talked about that, we were talking about when exactly everybody got emancipated, and the whole Juneteenth thing is not when all the slaves got emancipated, and it's not when they all found about it or any of that. And we talked about that last time. There were still a bunch of people who were still enslaved even after June 19th, 1865. There were still people in slavery. The real emancipation happened when the 13th Amendment was passed in December 6th, I think it was, of 1865. It wasn't the Emancipation Proclamation. It wasn't when the general, rode into town and told people, and told them to set the slaves free, it was when the 13th Amendment was ratified. That's when people were legally emancipated. But then there were still people who were, God, look at that. I've got a, can you see that? That's a black fly bit me right there. Look at that thing. See that? You see that? They get in here and they're these little teeny flies, and they chew on your skin, and they use it. They have an anesthetic or something like that they deposit as they're chewing, so you don't notice when they're doing it. But shortly after they bite you, then it really stings. Anyway, so even after the 13th Amendment was passed, there were still isolated plantations and stuff where the plantation owners did not, where they could control completely the information that the slaves, got, and the slaves didn't even know. They didn't know about the Civil War. They didn't know about a lot of stuff, and so there were situations like that, and that happened reportedly up until even 1960. There was some places where they were still doing that, where they had people in slavery, and just in this isolated environment where they did just told them, oh yeah, slavery is still on, whatever, and they didn't know. Yeah, that whole emancipation thing is kind of, but we really should be celebrating December 6th, I guess, is what it comes down to, because that's when the real emancipation happened. I think we just ran an ad there. Did we just run an ad? Yeah, we just ran an ad. Anyway, yeah, so the bottom line is that the exact date of emancipation is kind of complicated, but it's December 6th, 1865. That's when we should be celebrating emancipation, because that's when all the slaves in the United States were legally free. Up until then, there were still some who were legally slaves, that weren't covered by the Emancipation Proclamation and weren't freed when the army went down there to force them to set the slaves free and all that. And what else was there? There was another thing I wanted to talk. Oh, I know what it was. I told a joke when during that last stream. The joke was it had to do with I said MAGA people. There was a MAGA person or something who. What was the joke? The MAGA person. I'm gonna screw up the joke. It doesn't matter. I was gonna. The MAGA person says it was complaining that immigrants should speak English. That's what it was. And so the MAGA person says, if English was good enough for Jesus, it should be good enough for them, right? That's the joke, right? But I didn't explain, because there might be people who don't understand the joke, right? So I should explain the joke. And it's that, yeah, Jesus didn't speak English. That, for those of you who don't know. And I thought that Jesus spoke Hebrew. But it's more complicated than that. Let me see if I can find this article. I'm going to try to find an article here that explains this. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So this is the main language that Jesus spoke. Jewish, Palestinian, Aramaic. That's the main language that Jesus spoke. He spoke 3 different languages. He was Jewish, right? You know that, right? Jesus was Jewish. So he spoke Hebrew. And and I forget which. There's different flavors of Hebrew, and he spoke one of those. But he also, most of the time, most likely spoke this Jewish Palestinian Aramaic, which is has different flavors of it, lots of different flavors. But it was around between 150 BC to 1200 AD, and he spoke what they call the Galilean dialect of Jewish Palestinian Aramaic. That was his main language. But he also spoke Hebrew, and people of that period, at that time and place, who were well educated, scholarly or whatever, also spoke Greek. So he most likely spoke Greek too, they think. So that would be 3 languages that he spoke. So I told a joke, kind of making fun of somebody, the person's ignorance. I don't know if that was a true thing, but there are people who think that, right? Who were ignorant. So I was making first of all, I probably shouldn't be telling jokes about people who are ignorant, right? You shouldn't make fun of people who are ignorant of something. But then in the process of doing that, I discovered my own ignorance about what language Jesus spoke, So it's kind of funny. I don't know. So that I wanted to cover that because I didn't. When I told the joke, I didn't explain the joke first off, because there might be people who didn't understand that. There are probably a lot of people out there who think that Jesus spoke English because they're studying from the King James Bible, which is English, right? So they probably, they might not know. So I'm going to explain that, but then I discovered my own ignorance in that he actually was a polyglot and spoke 3 different languages. It's a lot more complicated than what I thought even. So I wanted to explain that. And there was one other thing I wanted to go over. I don't remember what it was now. There's something else. I don't remember what it was that I had I wanted to cover. Anyway, those were kind of the important ones. That movie. Everybody watched that movie, that Alice movie. Should I do my, I guess we don't need to do, everybody everybody make sure you wear your N95. You noticed I wore my N95 when I was out on the hike even. I didn't wear it all the time. But when the pollen got kind of bad, or if the people were, a lot of people were grouped around, or if I was in a car or whatever. I drove, getting up there, I was in my little car. You saw a picture of that in one of my things. I got this little teeny car with a 6-inch ground clearance, and when you went to that hike, that Lupine Hike, it said, "Oh, you need a 4-wheel drive to get." And I'm like, "Oh no!" So I figured I'd drive as far as I could to get up there. But anyway, I got to one part that I knew I could get to, and I parked, and then and somebody had a 4-wheel drive, so I rode with them up there. And then I had my my sweatshirt that I brought with me, and I forgot. And by that time it had warmed up that I didn't need my sweatshirt anymore, so I stuck it in these people's car. And then on the trail, they said, "Oh well, if we split up, then I told them, make sure you leave my sweatshirt out if you leave early or whatever." And that happened actually, and we split up and they left early, but fortunately they remembered, and they took my sweatshirt and stuck it on one of those posts out there or whatever. So when I got back from the hike, I still had my sweatshirt. Anyway, what was I talking about? Anyway, make sure you wear your N95 mask. It's helpful against pollen too. Just to let you know that, right? If you live somewhere and you're getting if you have sinus problems all the time or something like that, right? And you don't know why you haven't, and it's most likely allergies if it's happening all the time, continually, chronically. And try wearing an N95 mask when you're around stuff that causes your allergy, or if you're around a pet that causes allergy, or if you're around outdoors, or whatever. And I had just recently, I normally don't have that bad of allergies, but I think this wildfires in Canada, the heat made the pollen go way high in the air and travel all the way out here of certain species of plants that I have allergies to. So anyway, I was wearing that sometimes, or like when I was going through the bush there and stuff where it was stirring up pollen and stuff like that. Then I would wear my N95, and whenever you're around people, it wasn't, we were out. It was bright sun and everything, and there was a little bit of breeze, so I wasn't too concerned about it. Yeah, if you're in bright sun, then the UV from the sun is going to kill the virus more, and if there's wind, it's going to dilute the virus more. So and if there aren't a lot of people around, then so there, and also right now the death rate has come down a little bit. It's still, there's still a couple, 200-300 people a week that are dying from COVID, plus other respiratory diseases, RSV and now measles. I guess they got some people who died from that, and so it's good to wear your mask anyway. Is what I'm saying. Oh, I gotta explain how it's got to be. It has to say N95 on it. This is a special type of mask. It's not like a cloth mask or something, it has special material in it, and it's rated. It has to say N95 on it, and it has to have these straps that go all the way around your head. You have some of these masks that just have little ear loops. Those are not N95 masks, and they might not work as well as an N95. So you make sure you're wearing N95, when you're around other people. Okay, that was my public service announcement. See, public service announcement. See that? See? All right. All right, I guess that's it. All right, I don't have enough people to rate anybody. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to type in. No, that's okay. I don't need to type that in, do I? Let me type that in. I have a little message, one of those commands that I can type in. Wait, where is it here? Wrap. There we go. There are my socials. I'm on here at Twitch on Double Tribble. I have my website now at doubletribble.com, so you should go look at that. My all the videos on doubletribble.com. I don't put all of them up there because I don't have enough room. I ran out of room, so I don't have room for all of my VODs. But the ones that I do put up there are uncensored. So if there's anything that's censored on these videos that I live stream on Twitch or put up on YouTube, then you can go to my website and watch them uncensored. It doesn't happen too often, but sometimes it does. On YouTube, I'm doubletribble-yt. Doubletribble-yt. And I also have a Mastodon account somewhere. I don't know what the link is to that. You can look on Twitch or on YouTube, and there will be a link to it there. And I'm in my website too. So if you go to any place, you can see the link to my Mastodon account, which I don't use, but it's there. All right, I guess that's it. Oh, and also clips. I got clips now. I can do these little clips like this. I can go. Let's see here. Is this gonna work? That didn't work. Isn't that cute? So I can do that. Let me do another one here. I don't know what this one is. Let me see what this is.
Now, we've known that the universe is expanding for nearly 100 years now.
Anyway, I just need a little clip. That was kind of funny. So I got all these different things in here that I can run.
Are we there yet?
Not yet.
All right, I guess we're there now. I can finish up. All right, so everybody, thank you for watching. We're gonna play the role here now. Goodbye. Oh yeah, one more thing. I wanted to thank Sydney for subscribing. At some point along the way there, Sydney subscribed again for a third month. Thank you, Sydney, for subscribing. And I got a new follow too from a Flu, Flugh, Flu. Thank you for the follow, Flu. All right, enjoy the squirrels. My mic's still on? Good thing I didn't fart, huh? When are those squirrels gonna finish up? Man, it's... keep chasing each other and chasing each other and chasing each other. Oh. Come on, guys, give up. This next round I'll do it, maybe. No. No. Next one. Here it is. This one. All right, bye.